What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another opposition preview. It's Chelsea versus Tottenham, Thursday night under the lights at Stamford Bridge. We've got Carefree Lewis in the house. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good. Like 3 more weeks and the season's over. We can forget it ever happened. Hopefully get a new coach again. And start again from stage one. But it's good to be back. It's good to chop things up again. Hope everything's good with you too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's all good. It's all good apart from both of us being dunked by Arsenal over the last couple of weeks, which is a depressing thought.
Yep.
I guess we just got to hope Man City do the business, even including against Tottenham.
On the Blue Brothers.
But look, I guess there's only one place to start, and that's Mauricio Pochettino. You know, you hate him. I mean, you despise him, really. I think hate's probably a bit of a weak word for you to describe. But I'm looking at it, and I do see improvements throughout Chelsea throughout the season. And I personally think Tottenham hat off, Chelsea hat off, every hat off. I think he can improve you, and I've seen it with Spurs. I've seen it firsthand, you know. He took Spurs from, you know, a team that weren't in Europe or maybe just about in Europa League, and he improved us all the way up to getting into a Champions League final, challenging for titles. So what is it with you and Pochettino that you don't want to give him a chance?
I really wanted to give him a chance. Well, not even wanted to give him a chance. I was down for Pochettino joining initially. I believed in the whole, like, yeah, you managed to get a tune out of Tottenham. You got them to a UCL final, won the league with PSG, but that's just my dumb ass not doing any research into his time at PSG. I would have been anti-Poch from day one if I did that. But
yeah, but look, you can say that about a lot of managers at PSG, right? Unai Emery, Thomas Tuchel, you know, all these managers.
But I hear a lot of the stuff people talk about his time at PSG, and that's in the moment, not looking back at it. I could put all of that to Chelsea right now. Playing players out of position, to the team only looking good in a certain period of the game and then disappearing. Tactical naivety, excuses, contradictory statements left, right and centre. They were the Kylian Mbappe team. Do you remember when Pep called you lot the Harry Kane team? Now we're the Cole Palmer team. It all just seems to filter in the same way. And I get you got to tune out Tottenham, played really good football with you guys. But I think what he did at Tottenham back then can't really work right now in 2024. And I also think while you guys were doing well, City were in a rebuild, Liverpool were in a rebuild, Arsenal were in decline.
We faced
United
your Conte team.
Rebuild.
That's who we were up against.
Yeah, it was just us, well, when we weren't finishing 10th. And
it was
Leicester.
your Conte, yeah. The Leicester. I don't even count the Leicester season in terms of Spurs being in a proper title race. It was more the Conte team that season where I think.
But I also you finishing third, didn't it?
We finished second when you had Conte and won the league.
Oh no, the Leicester season.
Where we finished third, Arsenal.
And everybody else was on a drop off.
Yeah.
Everybody else the year after, except us, was on a drop off.
Yeah.
Then the year after, Liverpool come up, City come up,
Yeah.
and Tottenham start sliding down.
But that Chelsea Conte team was a good team, man. You finished on high points, didn't you?
Yeah, Conte was brilliant, unbelievable. But that also shows to me how a manager can come in with a system and get the best out of his team. With us, Pochettino's just come in, said, yeah, at Chelsea, we need to win now. We will compete on all 3 fronts. And then he's asking for patience after match day 3 when he literally said Chelsea shouldn't be a club for patience. Like, just be honest. If Poch had came in from the start and said, look, people need to bear with me for the first season while I figure out this team. This team isn't good enough to be where Chelsea should be right now, but I will try and get Chelsea there in a matter of years. Maybe I wouldn't have been happy with it, but I would have accepted it. I would have been like, at least you told me this from the start, so I can't hold it against you. No, you told me we can compete for the Premier League and compete for all 3 trophies. Why have I not even been able to get into a European place at 1 match day this season? Why am I losing to a Middlesbrough team with 16 injuries and then you moan about injuries?
To be fair, you did win that game in the end. You got to the final. What happened in the final?
It's Middlesbrough's B team.
Yeah,
bro.
I get that. But you are, in terms of the league table right now, you finished, 12th last season or something. Right now, you've got 2 games in hand. And if you do win those 2 games in hand, you're on level points with Man United in 6th. So if he does finish around that kind of 6th position in the league this year, does he get more time?
I hope the board don't do it. I don't think he will anyway, based off Poch's last quotes before the Villa game. But like for me, whatever we do in this season, it doesn't change my mind because I'm going to keep thinking I could have done more. If we could win all of our games now, I could finish 6th. I'm going to think, raw, if this guy wasn't an idiot for 6 months, could be talking about 4th.
Yeah.
Like I've said all season, this team is capable of contention for top 4. And I don't mean top 4 outright. I mean, they should be contending for it. Maybe you finish 6th. Maybe you finish 5th. Maybe even worse, you finish 7th. But if I know that that team's competing there, then I will hear excuses about experience and like you need experienced players and all of that. Fine. To get into 7th, I need experience. No, I don't. I've seen Ange walk into your team about Harry Kane and have you lot start cooking, go unbeaten for 3 months. I've seen Emery take a Villa team from 16th, 17th to 4th, 5th. Seen De Zerbi instantly get a click out of Potter's Brighton team. Glasner's joined Palace and they're winning at Anfield and cooking everything in sight. But I'm expected to trust the process with this manager because he asked for it. No, this manager just spews out buzzwords every week because he knows this job's too big for him. He knows he talked a fight that he can't prove himself in.
But you also, you can take those managers for example, but you can also take others managers for another example, like Mikel Arteta, for example, 8th. I know you're going to say he's like first year of management and what have you, but he's also proven that if you trust the process and you trust it for long enough, you can come through the other end.
Now, I hear it, but like Arteta to me is an anomaly only because, number one, there was various opportunities where they could have sacked him. And number two, if you're giving that sort of project to someone that inexperienced, you can't just sack him that quickly. Like, you have to at least see it out and give him enough time. Pochettino isn't that guy. There's a reason why he only got given a 2-year contract. Because he was the one who's meant to show results right now. If I could see a structure, if I could see visible game management consistently from him, if I could see honesty and not contradictory statements from him, I'd have something to go off. I'd be like, okay, you know what? Maybe he needs a second season. Maybe we need to wait for a few of the injured players to come back. But no, the excuses he's made, the way he's set up teams, like 2 forwards at home against Nottingham Forest and Luton. I saw one of the biggest red flags I had early, well, 2 of them, was that we struggled against a League 2 Wimbledon side in the Carabao Cup. We won off a penalty and their goalkeeper going walkabouts and Enzo scoring into an empty net. That's the only way we beat League 2 Wimbledon. And then he defended and time wasted, in his words, protected the point against a winless Bournemouth the week after. He is a loser. This guy, after we lost to Middlesbrough, said, it's okay, Caicedo told me that Middlesbrough are a tough team and he lost to them last time he played them. Middlesbrough lost 5-1 to Brighton last season. The last time Middlesbrough beat Brighton, Caicedo weren't even a professional footballer. This is the amount of BS that this guy talks.
You know what though, like, was he on a bit of a hiding to nothing because of his Spurs links right from the beginning? Because we've been in the opposite shoes, right? We've had Mourinho, we've had Conte, both ex-Chelsea managers. And I felt like maybe more Mourinho than Conte, but there was definitely big sections of the fan base that never accepted him from the beginning. Was that the case with Poch at Chelsea?
Nah, like everyone was like, either they agreed or even if they didn't want Poch, it wasn't because of the Tottenham links. It was because they actually looked at him at PSG. They actually saw how much that team had stagnated in the 2 years, even in spite of winning a league. They didn't look good doing it. They played terrible football, struggled to break down low blocks, and literally just relied off Mbappe moments of magic. Like, you got to remember, this is the guy who had Lionel Messi looking like Morpie. 6 league goals from Lionel Messi. Do you know how insane that is? Enter Mauricio Pochettino. That's why, like, I can't, like, the biggest problem for me is that I didn't see this coming earlier. Yeah. If I did any sort of research into his time at PSG, I wouldn't have wanted him from the start.
So what was the point that you turned?
I was leaning from match day 4.
Match day 4?
Like, when
you never really gave him a chance then.
Pre-season moved me.
Come on, pre-season.
That's what I learned that as well. But pre-season moved me so mad. And then the Liverpool game, we played really well. I was like, all right, cool. West Ham lost 3-1. Awful second half, awful low blocks. So I was like, growing pains, whatever. We lose 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Still one of the worst games of football I've ever watched. I was like, this is 2 games now, but okay, it's early. It's early. I'm not going to say nothing. Struggle against Wimbledon. It's the cup. We rotated. It's fine. I'll sniff some more copium. We time wasted against Bournemouth, and he said protect the point. I'm like, oh my goodness, we might have made the wrong move. But I'm not going to say anything. It's only August. He keeps making dumb decisions game in and game out. I'd said Man United away, Everton away. If you can't win both of those games, I'm done with him. That Man United game was so disgusting. The way we got bent over by Erik ten Hag and Man United, one of the worst teams in the league. I was done then. I was like, you know what? I'm not even waiting to Everton. Get rid of him tonight. That whole game was a sackable offence. So, like, I've been leaning since about September, but, like, I was still willing to let him prove me wrong. From December, no. No, we've been wasting our time ever since, in my opinion.
And you think that's it now? You think he's going to go at the end of the season? You think these are his last 3-4 games?
If our owners and directors have any balls about them, he has to be gone. He has to be gone the day after the last ball's kicked. I would want it announced on the tannoys at full time. You'll get the loudest roar at Stamford Bridge in months. But you need to get rid of him. This guy is a footballing tyrant. He's meant to prioritise youth development, but he hasn't developed a single player. He literally just relies off Cole Palmer and Gusto. He's left Enzo out there to die for half of the season. Ruined our players with his awful training regimes, which just contribute to injuries. You guys had to suffer through it. PSG had to suffer through it. And now we're suffering through it. 1 game a week, but I have a starting 11 of injuries. He's terrible. He is the main reason for me why we're in year 2 of this project and it is failing. Because you've given the reins to an idiot.
So what's the answer then? Because Bowley's come in, he's sacked Tuchel, he's brought in Potter, he's sacked Potter, he brought in Lampard towards the end of the season.
Oh boy.
Now Poch in this season. So if you sack Poch now at the end of this season, what's the plan?
Well, they should already be looking for managers, but Amarim's out there. You could have the easiest tap in terms of PR and bring Tuchel back. Sarri's also available. Slot was available.
Did you take Sarri back?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Like, Sarri didn't really have a plan B, but at least he had a structure and a plan A. And we at least played good football with him. Like, I know you need a season with Sarri as well before he really starts clicking, but I've been there. I've seen it before. I've seen a style of play from him within match day 2 and 3. So Sarri would get my patience. Like, I'm not the sort of Chelsea fan that's always been a manager out. The only managers that I've ever pushed for Chelsea to get rid of is Potter and Pochettino. And even with Potter, I low-key regret that. Because with Potter, I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt with the squad that we had at the time. 2/3 of the team didn't want to be there. And the worst forward line I have ever seen put on Chelsea shirts. Our team's already better than the
Who
team
was the
from
forward line at that point?
Havertz, Sterling, one of Mount, Felix. No, Werner
Timo
wasn't
was
there.
gone.
Lukaku weren't there last season. Pulisic or Ziyech. Felix was good. I wouldn't have minded keeping Felix, but too much wages, too much money Atletico were asking
Most
for.
of them are Champions League winners.
Tuchel. Like, I do not credit Kai Havertz or any of those attackers for that. I credit the back 5. I credit Jorginho, Kante, and Tuchel. They're the reasons why we won it. We conceded the least goals out of any winner since 1994. And we won it with a Havertz, Mount, and Werner front 3. Tuchel deserves a knighthood.
Well, I think the way Pochettino has brought Chelsea down, I think he deserves a bit of a knighthood. And I think that Spurs fans, if we do go 1 or 2-0 up at Stamford Bridge, we have to be singing his name just to shithouse the Chelsea fan, because I think that will proper rile you lot up if that's happening.
Bro, like, I already envision the worst timeline. You lot being 2-0 up and there's a Werner GNA involved. It's just, I can't be bothered. That game could be so infuriating. The only thing is, though, like, after losing 5-0 to Arsenal, you guys can't hurt me any worse than that. Like, I've said this so many times this season, but I think I've finally reached my ultimate low point. It can't get worse than that. It really cannot get worse. Even if you lot win 3-0 at the Bridge or something, that's not going to hurt me like losing 5-0 to Arsenal.
I saw the pictures of you there with the Champions League with Tuchel written on it and all that kind of stuff. I admire the shithousery against them lot. But when you're looking at Spurs, Ange's come in this season, losing Harry Kane, crazy amount of injuries throughout the season. How do you assess Spurs have done this season?
Really well. Really well. Like, even if you guys have kind of faltered in the last few weeks, no one expected you to be in the race for top 4. No one expected you to be unbeaten in the first 3 months. You've done really well with the signings that you've made. You've been really smart with the signings that you've made, and you've got the best out of all of them, even the likes of a Timo Werner. So I think regardless of where you finish this season, you guys should be looking at it from a positive perspective, unless you feel like you could have still done more. But even then, it's like you're going to be in Europe. You've progressed off last season. You're with a manager that, even if there is questions over, like, not his mentality, but the way he handles games, there's a visible style of play. You understand what you guys are trying to do, even if there's pros and cons to it. So you guys have been pretty impressive this season. I'd say that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few moans and groans from a few Spurs fans at the moment in terms of Ange and maybe the players that we do have. But the way I look at it, I think Ange has done an incredible job at Spurs this season. I'm very much a massive fan of him. And I just think certain players in very key positions have just had massive drop-offs that have just culminated in our downfall a bit towards the back end. But I think if you would have offered me 5th at the beginning of the season, I would have taken it with your hands off. So, I mean, like...
There's nothing wrong with being critical about it either. Like that's just fans wanting the club to progress. Like, even if you're in a position where you didn't expect to be, and that is progress, still got to look higher. If you're not Man City, you still need to be looking up. You still need to be looking at what you guys can do. So, still respect that from your fan base, because you could easily just rest on your laurels and say, yep, we're back within the top 5. It's all good. It's all calm. No, you want more, and I rate that. Half our fan base is doing up. Trust the process. Believe in the manager. Well, I haven't seen a European spot all season, but... Great. This is what my manager's mentality has done. It's just fed into the rest of the squad.
Ange has been saying, like, he doesn't care about the top 4 race, doesn't care about finishing 5th. He wants to be fighting up there at the top of the league. And he says, this time next year, that is where we need to be. Do you think that's a possibility?
In terms of fighting for the league?
Yeah.
I mean, with the right window, maybe. You really need to get another number 9 in. Maybe strengthen your midfield. Definitely strengthen the wings. Because I think that if there's anything that really stands out, it's more your attackers in general. I think bar Son and Maddison is not really anything to shout about.
I like Brennan. I think Brennan's improved throughout the season.
Yeah, he might develop. But for now, I don't think he's enough for where you guys want to go. But, I mean, I think you guys are well within your rights to believe that and to look up. Like, if you could be top of the league for 3 months, the next target should be to be top of the league for 5-6 months, for example. So I understand that, and like, I rate it. I rate good mentality from managers. Like, I see the change in mentality at Tottenham. It's just I see the change in mentality at Chelsea too, and that's the problem. That is the problem.
In terms of Chelsea coming into this game, I know Cole Palmer missed the Arsenal game, but he was back last game against Villa. Do you have any injury problems coming into it?
Yeah, we've got like a whole starting 11 of players out. To be honest, you could argue that our injured 11 could give our starting 11 a game, but I'm trying to remember who's...
Well, just go what lineup you think you're going to play there.
Yeah, because it's better to just think of who's fit than who's injured at this point. I'd start Petrovic again. Gusto still isn't fit, so I'll probably throw Chalobah back at right back. Anything but Gilchrist. Like, he's a youth player. He's inexperienced. Go on loan.
Who was it that he scored against? Was it Everton?
Yeah, Everton. He got the 6th goal. Happy for him. Like, he's a good kid and everything, but so raw for what we need right now. Like,
stepping him into the Lions' Den at the Emirates. I thought that was a mad decision.
Pochettino, you have a back four that does so well in the last game. What am I going to do? I'm going to change 3 of them for no reason.
Was it no reason at all? With no injuries, no nothing?
No, he said fitness. But yeah, fitness. You who plays Enzo on a hernia for 6 months is talking to me about fitness. You who doesn't rest Caicedo, you who plays Sterling and Gallagher through everything.
He's magic, you know.
Is talking to me about fitness with the centre-backs who are sitting back. I despise him. But yeah, Silva Chalobah back in the starting lineup. No, Chalobah's got to play right back, so just put Badiashile back in there. He had a good second half against Villa. Let him build off it. Cucurella at left back, Caicedo, Gallagher. You got to play Palmer in the 10. Madueke had another good second half, so I'd put him back in for that one. The left side, I think you might as well just give Sterling another run out. When the whole team's refusing to pass to Mudryk for 25 minutes, it's pointless.
Is that what it's come down to?
Yeah, you might as well just give Sterling the run out again, like whatever. And Jackson up top. I think that's going to be the thing you see.
I think Jackson has come under a lot of stick this season, but I like him. I like what
Me too.
I think he's got a lot of good attributes. He's still young, right? 22 years of age, and I think like if he can just nail down that finishing, I think he's going to be a top striker in this league.
For me, I actually would rather us just go for a striker and put him out on the wing. That's where he originally started, and all of his other attributes are so well-rounded. What's the point of just putting him in a position where I need him to do the one thing he can't do consistently? Get me a bagsman, let him play off him, let him feed him, and cool. Like, because we don't have a left winger that I'm backing anyway. Just throw Jackson at the left wing. We 2 birds, 1 stone, all done.
How do you see the game going?
I think this is a draw all over. Because I think regardless of where I believe Chelsea are and like our lack of consistency, our inability to play consistently for 90 minutes, you guys just don't like coming to the bridge. The fans will be up for it as well. And I think all of that could come into factor for this game. But I just don't think we're going to have enough to kill you. So I think we take the lead and just bottle it. Typically, I could see another 2-2 like last season.
Yeah, I can see, because like historically this season, Spurs have had poor first halves and good second halves, and I think Chelsea have been the other way around.
Yeah.
Right? Good first halves and poor
we
second
both
halves.
suck at set pieces.
Yeah, we really do. Probably attacking. Well, we're okay with our attacking set piece. We haven't scored one in a while. I think we've scored about
We're literally
10 or 11 this season.
Decent attacking, awful defending.
Yeah, so I can see quite a few goals in this game. I really can. But I can't pick a winner either. I did a prediction show the other day. I don't know if I've done. Yeah, and I said 2-2.
Yeah, I'm saying 2-2 as well. Like, because both teams will concede. You lot play high. Our defense sucks. We both suck at set pieces. We both don't have the consistency throughout the 90. There's no way either of us can be confident going into this game. So just a draw and move. More points dropped, up the Chelsea, but my season's over.
My season's over as well. The only thing I got to rely on is Man City to beat Spurs. That's all I've got to rely on. Just stop those lot winning the league at all costs.
You better not pull something off against them, I swear on my life.
But you know what? We've got a good record against them at home. That's the thing.
That game is going to be so confusing. You lot could go 2-0 up, your fans will start booing your players and they'll all be confused.
Play the youth, man. Play the youth. That's
yeah,
what
I'm with you, man. Play the youth.
But look, as you can see, no one picking a winner. Both us going for 2-2. Everyone, if you like that sort of thing, go check out Carefree Lewis on YouTube. But Lewis,
more
thanks for
Chelsea
coming on
depression,
today.
man.
And I'm doing a preview on his channel as well, so go check that out. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Put your predictions in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.